There are two kinds of people in this world. One, people who think that this video is clickbait. And two, people who think I'm actually stupid enough to mess up my Threadripper build. Now, it is kind of somewhere in between there because it's not clickbait. I did in fact mess something up and it still kind of is an issue, but also the build is right there and it's working. So it's kind of a fine line between the two. This wasn't my first time building a PC and I still find it intimidating because it's not something I do often. And I'm sure there's some people out there that agree with me. They feel the same way. And then there are the people out there that are like, Matt, bruh, it's just like building Legos. And those people are fucking annoying, but it's kind of true. So for me, it was very intense. I took every moment very seriously as if I was performing open heart surgery. So I know it's probably driving you crazy. Matt, what is it that you messed up? It's working. It can't be anything too serious. No, it really isn't that big of a deal, but it's still a problem. Now, before I talk about the issue, which you might even be able to kind of get a hint at just by looking at the background over there, I want to talk about the build list and the sponsors. I want to give a shout out to legendaryhosts.com. They are the main sponsor of this build. They hooked me up with everything other than the case and the cooler. Legendaryhosts.com offers game servers, virtual servers, dedicated servers, you name it, they got it. And stay tuned because they have a lot of exciting stuff coming out. And I'll actually leave a link to their Twitter down below. Exciting news. I'm going to be doing their social media, so stay tuned for that, but also kind of a disclaimer because I think I have to disclaim that, don't want it to be like some CSGO Lotto stuff, you know what I'm saying? So be sure to follow them on Twitter at Legendary Hosts. That's going to be me tweeting. It's going to be a lot of fun, really cool stuff coming soon. Now, as far as the case and the cooler, that's all thanks to NZXT. They hooked them up with the fairly new H700i. It's pretty nice. Look at that. It's pretty cool. And they also gave me the Kraken X62 cooler, which I, stay tuned. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I actually really, really love it, but it's kind of what this is about. So yeah, stay tuned. Now, of course, as you can see, it's a Threadripper build. It is the 1950X because, mama didn't raise no you know what I'm saying? Go big or go home. And speaking of that, I only got 64 gigs of RAM. So I guess what I just said doesn't make sense because if I was going big, I would go for 128 gigs, but, shut up, okay? Yeah, it's easy as that. Really though, I did go for 64 gigs of the G-Skill Trident Z RAM. It is RGB, which I think looks gorgeous. And, again, stay tuned because that kind of has to do with this whole, you might be able to see where it's going, but if not, just stay tuned. Now I know some little 12-year-old sitting there behind the keyboard, flexing, getting ready to type something wrong about my build, and I'll give you something, okay? You want something? I'll give it to you. You're probably saying, Matt, what's the RAM speed, man? Don't just brush over it. Yeah, it's 2400 megahertz, okay? Oh, Matt, you can't go for the Threadripper and not get the 3000 megahertz. I know, crazy, right? Wow. Crazy. The motherboard is from MSI. It is the X399 Gaming Pro Carbon AC. I don't know how I remembered that, but I did because I'm fucking smart as hell, bro. We also have an NVMe drive from Samsung. I think it's 500 gigs, which is pretty dope. It was pretty good. And for the hard drive, we went for a 6 terabyte WD Black. Ooh, baby. I gotta say, that is the biggest hard drive I've ever owned, and damn does it get me excited. I did bring over some of my other drives, which includes an OCZ 960 gigabyte PCIe SSD, the Revo Drive 350, and of course, some normal SSDs. I think I even have another NVMe. Now you're probably wondering about the whole GPU situation. If you follow me on Instagram, which really, can you follow me? Cause I really don't have that many followers on Instagram. I don't really get that many likes per post, man. And I used to post a lot on Snapchat, but ever since that update, nah. It's still swashin though if you want to follow me, but nah. If you followed me on either of those platforms, you would know that the plan was to have two 1080 Ti's, but we can't do that right now because the prices are insane. Some of you did link me to Nvidia's site. They are doing MSRP, but they're out of stock right now. So I put it on the notify me thing. So who knows? Maybe I'll win the lottery. Okay. For now, I did take the 1070 from my brother Tom's computer, which I know some of you are like, wow, you're so heartless. But it's because I did a sponsored build with the Triceratops. No, that's a dinosaur. Tristellar. I did the Tristellar case build for him, and they did sponsor a 1070, and I should have taken it right then and there, but God, I'm just so good. So I felt like, you know what? Let me take it. I'll give it back, but for now, I deserve it. So that's what's in the build right now, a 1070, but hopefully soon, two 1080 Ti's. This is 4. So 2 1080 Ti's. I think that's it. So I do have a pretty quick montage of some B-roll shots from building the PC. It's not super crazy or anything like that because I was a little more focused on, I don't know, building the computer. But I will roll that, and then after that, we will discuss the problem. Okay, so did you notice it? I'm sure you did. I'm sure most people did. I don't know how I didn't until I was getting ready to put it into my room, but that's just life sometimes. So the problem is that I didn't put the cooler on the right way. Now that might not seem like a big deal because obviously it works and I still haven't fixed it. But of course, the way that I set it up was just the perfect angle to have the tubing out of the cooler lay on the plastic piece of one of the RAM sticks. Now, this didn't actually put pressure onto the RAM stick itself. It wasn't bending or snapping or anything like that, but the plastic piece of the Trident Z stick popped off. And by it popping off, it was also pushing onto the other decorative part of the RAM stick. And basically that caused the adhesive that holds the whole thing together to come off. Now again, for some reason I didn't notice this, but you could see in the photos and the videos that the little LEDs on the RAM stick are popping out and they're just like there. The plastic piece is meant to diffuse it and make it look all pretty like it is right over there. So when I eventually noticed it, I was like, and so I opened up the case and I was even more disappointed to see that it wasn't an easy fix. I thought, okay, maybe I just click and it's all good, done, easy. So I had to take out the RAM stick and I was pretty embarrassed. I'm not going to lie because I had already posted content of it and I was like, damn. People are going to realize. I was so proud of myself because I really did a great job building the PC. Cable management I spent a lot of time on. I made sure that everything looked and worked perfectly and it was great. I just overlooked one of the most obvious goddamn things. So I couldn't get the actual RAM stick to go back together. The adhesive was still a little bit sticky, but it wasn't like holding on nice and tight. So I was like, let me be smart. I could get the RAM stick replaced or I could use some shipping tape and just wrap the bitch up. I'm not even kidding. That's what I did. I just, took a little piece of tape and reinforced it over the top. Of course, not over the bottom or anything like that, just over the top to help that adhesive get back to home, And it worked, and it's not anything you could notice. It's clear tape, it's very minimal, and it looks pretty good. So, Mr. DIY, I don't know, whatever you want to call me, I did it. Now, the easy solution would be to just tell Amazon to give me a replacement. But of course, being the way that I am, I'm just going to leave it. Now, the real way to solve the issue would be to just take out the cooler, unmount the TR4 bracket, and then just put it at the right angle so that it's actually level and put it back on. Torque wrench it down and then bada bing bada boom, it's all good. But of course, that's just too much goddamn work. So my build is very special because the NZXT logo, instead of going like this, goes like this. Kind of like, how Vincent van Gogh cut his ear off. It's different and it's his own kind of thing. That's like me cutting my ear off. Oh, I'm sorry. I did finagle the tubing so that it isn't putting pressure on the plastic piece anymore. So all is well and fine in that computer now, but I did mess it up. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think it through because if you look at this photo, I'm using the cooler as a mirror and I'm having a great time. This is mid build. I'm like, look at me. Now I should have realized that sticker was actually an indication of what the angle was for the logo. Had I known that, it would have been fine. So NZXT, I think you should put some documentation and or I should never build a computer again. But aside from that little hiccup, everything is great. I do need a hub extender head thingamajig because I need more USB 2 slots on my motherboard. But other than that, I mean, that's not my problem, you know? That's MSI's problem. Overall, I'm digging the PC. I think it's great. I can't wait to edit 4K video, which this isn't 4K because I filmed the other stuff not in 4K. So you see what I'm saying. But I'm looking forward to all the different things I'm going to do with it. I'm actually going to be doing some Twitch streams because it's like going to be able to do that. So follow me on Twitch. My username is swashin. And last but not least, what should I call this PC? I need to know. Leave a comment down below. Best name gets pinned. And yes, Pimp My Setup is coming back. I promise, by the end of this month. Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. And also, it was my birthday on the 12th. So shame on you for forgetting. You can PayPal me millions of dollars if you want. On the real though, guys, thanks so much for watching. I don't know how long this video is, but I tend to make long videos, so I apologize. Thank you for all the support lately. It really, really, really means a lot. See you in the next video.